Varric, you joined the Inquisition when Seeker Pendergast questioned you.
She was very insistent that I help.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
It's surprising that an elven apostate is the one who joined the Inquisition voluntarily. I have heard that your books are very popular, Master Tethras.
I do all right.
I am glad of it.
Really? No sarcasm? No superior attitude?
We live in a dark and angry time, Child of the Stone. So much of what people believe has come crashing down. If you bring them a little peace with the worlds you make between the pages, you have done more than most. By the end of Hard in Hightown, almost every character is revealed as a spy or a traitor.
Wait, you read my book?
It was in the Inquisition library. Everyone but Donnan turned out to be in disguise. Is that common?
Are we still talking about books, or are you asking if everyone I know is a secret agent?
Are there many tricksters in dwarven literature?
A handful, but they're the exception. Mostly they're just honoring the ancestors. It's very dull stuff. Human literature. Now there's where you'll find the tricky, clever, really deceitful types.
Curious.
Not really. Dwarves write how they want things to be. Humans write to figure out how things are. So here we are, Elf. Cleaning up another human mess.
What would the Inquisition do without our stabilizing influence, Master Tethras?
I assume they just start burning things.
That does sound like most humans I know.
You know what I like about you, Chuckles? Your boundless optimism.
It's comforting that whatever qualities I lack, you'll invent for me, Varric.
No, really. Why else would an elven apostate help crazy chantry folk close a hole in the sky?
When you put it like that, I must concede your point.
You really spend most of your time in the Fade?
As much as is possible. The Fade contains a wealth of knowledge for those who know where to look.
Sure, but I don't know how you dream, let alone wander around in there. Especially when the shit that comes out of the Fade generally seems pretty cranky.
So are humans. But we continue to interact with them. When we must.
So, who do you think is the toughest? Josephine, Liliana, or Cassandra?
I'm right here, you know.
That doesn't rule you out, Seeker.
Cullen's not up for consideration?
Curly? They just keep him around to look pretty.
Varric, you fought Corypheus once before.
Not my fondest memory, but yes, I did.
And you killed him. You were certain of his death.
Yes? What's on your mind, Chuckles?
He survived the explosion that destroyed the Conclave. If he can live through a blast that levels a mountaintop, we would do well to determine how.
Even if we knew, would that help us? The Wardens couldn't kill him, and they had 1,000 years to figure it out.
That crossbow is remarkable, Varric. I am surprised the dwarves have not made more of them.
The woman who made Bianca would rather that not happen. Wars are bloody enough as it is. A crossbow that fires this far and this quickly, with so little training, every battle would be a massacre.
Indeed. I am surprised, not disappointed. Is it true that the entire dwarven economy relies upon lyrium?
Mostly. We've got the Nug market cornered as well.
And the dwarves of Orzammar have never studied lyrium?
Well, if they have, they certainly haven't shared anything up here. Why?
It is the source of all magic, save that which mages bring themselves. Dwarves alone have the ability to mine it safely. I wondered if they had sought to learn more.
The folks back in Orzammar don't care much about anything but tradition.
Do you ever miss life beneath the earth? The call of the stone?
Nah, whatever the stone, capital S, is, it was gone by the time my parents had me.
But do you miss it?
How could I miss what I never had? But say I did have that sense, that connection to the stone. What would it cost me? Would I lose my friends up here? Would I stop telling stories? I like who I am. If I want to hear songs, I'll go to the tavern.
You are wiser than most. I find the fall of the Dwarven lands confusing.
What's so confusing about endless darkspawn?
A great deal. Although that is a different matter. Dwarves control the flow of lyrium. They could tighten their grip on it.
It's hard to get the attention of the humans when the darkspawn aren't up here messing with their stuff.
You're active in the Carter? You know your people could tug the purse strings. You could claim sovereign land on the surface, or demand help restoring the Dwarven kingdom, but you don't.
You're not saying anything I haven't said myself, Chuckles. Orzammar is what it is.
Is there at least a movement to reunite Orzammar and Kal Sharok?
What is it with you, Chuckles? Why do you care so much about the dwarves?
Once, in the Fade, I saw the memory of a man who lived alone on an island. Most of his tribe had fallen to beasts or disease. His wife had died in childbirth. He was the only one left. He could have struck out on his own, to find a new land, new people. But he stayed. He spent every day catching fish in a little boat. Every night drinking fermented fruit juice and watching the stars.
I can think of worse lives.
How can you be happy surrendering? Knowing it'll all end with you? How can you not fight?
I suppose it depends on the quality of the fermented fruit juice.
So it seems. I am sorry to have bothered you with my questions about your people, Varric. I see so much of this world in dreams. Humans, my own people, even Qunari. Dwarves alone were lost to me, save scattered fragments of memory where some spirit cared to watch. Now I know why I see so little.
And why is that?
Dwarves are the severed arm of a once mighty hero, lying in a pool of blood, undirected. Whatever skill at arms it had, gone forever. Although it might twitch to give the appearance of life, it will never dream.
I'd avoid mentioning that to any Carta, Chuckles. They might not take it the right way. What is it with you and the Doom stuff? Are you always this cheery, or is the hole in the sky getting to you?
I've no idea what you mean.
All the fallen Empire crap you go on about. What's so great about empires anyway? So we lost the Deep Roads, and Orzammar is too proud to ask for help. So what? We're not Orzammar, and we're not our empire. There are tens of thousands of us living up here in the sunlight now, and it's not that bad. Life goes on. It's just different than it used to be.
And you have no concept of what that difference cost you.
Oh, I know what it didn't cost me. I'm still here, even after all those tigers fell.
You truly are content to sit in the sun, never wondering what you could have been, never fighting back.
You've got it all wrong, Chuckles. This is fighting back.
How does passively accepting your fate constitute a fight?
In that story of yours, the fisherman watching the stars, dying alone, you thought he gave up, right?
Yes.
But he went on living. He lost everyone, but he still got up every morning. He made a life, even if it was alone. That's the world. Everything you build, it tears down. Everything you've got, it takes. And it's gone forever. The only choices you get are to lie down and die or keep going. He kept going. That's as close to beating the world as anyone gets.
Well said. Perhaps I was mistaken.
Hey, Chuckles, do you ever play Wicked Grace?
I'm not much of a gambler anymore.
You don't have to play for real coin. That's just for keeping score.
What do you play for?
Conversation, mostly. That way I win no matter how the cards fall.
The Grey Wardens allow elves and dwarves into their ranks?
Qunari too, I imagine. They don't care about titles or blood, just stopping the blight.
A pity they do it so badly, then.
Would you care to repeat that?
Argue if you like. Your fight against the Darkspawn is noble. But what progress have you made?
I may not like everything they've done, but without the Wardens, we'd all be blighted by now.
They've bought us some time. I will grant them that.
Did you see the look on those nobles' faces back at the Winter Palace, Chuckles?
They seemed unaccustomed to seeing elves without servants' livery, or dwarves at all.
Priceless. That's definitely going in my next story.
Are you planning a chapter filled with courtly intrigue?
Close. I need to describe the face someone makes when they choke down something terrible. Man, I can't wait for Chuckles to say something about the veil.
I don't always mention the veil. Yes, you do.
See? Told ya.